Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-March 2023 love reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. For those of you new to the channel, as hard as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past, present, and future energies between you and the main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards as well for some additional insight. That's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's a way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Two of Staves. So this is actually an Aries energy here. And to me, this says that you might have just in the past been viewing this as maybe more of a casual dating scenario. You know, you might have had multiple interests in mind, or at least were open to multiple people in the past. So I feel like you weren't necessarily giving all of your attention to this connection, but I feel like you were at least interested at some level. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the World. So to me, this says that they might have actually saw a lot of potential in the connection, right? So we could already see a bit of a disconnect there, where you might have been viewing this as a bit more of a casual thing. It looks like this person might have actually seen the potential for this to be a connection that could go to distance. All right, present energy on your side, we have the King of Coins. So this is actually a Taurus energy here. Could just be saying that you're feeling a lot more grounded and stable now. For some of you, it could even just be saying that maybe these other things that you were focusing on wasn't necessarily other people, but maybe you had a financial goal in mind, and maybe with that Virgo full moon passing, you might have wrapped that situation up. But that's what I'm seeing here. It could be for those things, but I feel like either way, it's saying that you're feeling more stable in the present, and possibly because of that, you might be more willing to put more energy toward this connection. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, to me, this is saying that at least in the present, it looks like they're not getting ahead of themselves, right? So in the past, it looks like maybe they were, as far as they were seeing all this potential, but maybe they just let reality set in a little bit, right? Now they're like, okay, they're viewing it with a more practical approach. Like, okay, before we get to this stage, obviously we have to start at the beginning. So could just be saying that they're being a bit more grounded and practical in the present. All right, and future energy on your side, we have the Two of Coins. So yeah, it looks like this could definitely point to an energy of indecisiveness. If we look at the two coins there, we see one has the red heart. You have one almost looks like a grayed out icy type vibe to it. So it could just be saying your feelings hot and cold, right? Like one day you're like, yeah, I totally want to build with this person. The next day you might feel like you don't want to, right? So it could just be a bit of back and forth energy where you're still trying to figure out where you want to see the connection going. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, Eight of Pentacles in the upright definitely represents that energy of wanting to put in work toward the situation, wanting to build on the situation. So to see this in reverse could just be saying that maybe, I mean, it could even be mutual, right? Like it looks like I said, it looks like you're going back and forth as to whether or not you're into them or not. Whereas for them, it looks like in the future they're gonna not really want to put in effort toward the connection. Possibly because they feel like you're constantly going back and forth, right? So it could just be one of those things where as you move through the connection, you might realize that maybe you're not the best match for each other, at least not presently. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have Greece. So this is actually the equivalent of the star card in traditional tarot, and it could just be saying that maybe you guys have gone through something rough recently, right? So maybe that's why you hadn't necessarily been open to love, and maybe you've just been processing that, right? And only recently has your heart been coming back into play. So could just be pointing to maybe why you weren't giving energy toward the connection in the past. And I mean, given that it's Aquarius energy, we did have Saturn moving through Aquarius for a while, so maybe it was pointing to that, right? Because for you guys, Aquarius is your house of communication. So maybe you might have, even if you were feeling feelings, maybe you're having a real struggle with actually expressing those feelings. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Tower. So yeah, I feel like this is saying on their end, it's more of that realization, like I said, where they might just feel like, okay, it looks like in the present you might be open to the situation, but they just might feel the back and forth energy from you in the future. Like I said, in the past, it looks like you weren't necessarily putting a lot of energy toward the connection either. So it might just be one of those things where, from their perspective, they might view it as okay, there's not really any potential for this connection to go any further. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. Let's just see what we get from Akamoonlight Oracle deck. And I'm going to be looking for unspoken messages from you to them and then from them to you. So let's see what comes up. All right, got one there. Then we'll see what we get from them to you. All right, already got one there. So let's see what we got on your side first. Okay, we have listen. Won't focus. There we go. It says, I'm telling you the truth. You can trust my words. So interesting card to see there. It could just be one of those things where, like I said in the past, I mean, maybe it's one of those things where I was saying initially I saw this as maybe you were just open to more of a casual dating type thing, so you weren't really taking the situation too seriously. But then as we went through the reading a little further, I was saying maybe for some of you it wasn't necessarily other connections that were at play, but maybe just other areas of focus, primarily maybe career, right? So it could just be one of those things where you might come in to explain that to this person somewhere down the line. And on their side, we have nervous. It says, you make me lose my cool and I just don't know how to act in your presence. So interesting message there, right? I could definitely see where they might have been feeling a bit flustered as far as, like I said, it looks like in the past they saw a lot of potential with this connection. So yeah, and I guess these could just be indicators again that, like I said, maybe the two of you might come to the realization that you're just not the best match, right? Because it just, I don't know, it looks like there's a clash in energy, but we'll see what the actual Wisdom Oracle card adds to the mix. Here I'm just going to be looking for a single card to wrap the reading up. Got one there. Okay. We have Chaos and Conflict. There's the artwork, and the number is 33. Okay, the relationship message says stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear, and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there. I didn't necessarily see an outright conflict. To me, like I was saying, it seemed like more of a clash of energies than an actual conflict, but given that we do see the tower there, I suppose there's a possibility. So, I mean, just something to keep in mind there, right? I mean, maybe you might want to be open with this person and let them know, like, hey, you know, one minute I do feel a certain way, the next maybe I'm not as open, especially if you did go through something in the past. But yeah, like I said, from what I'm seeing, to be honest with you, it doesn't necessarily look like this is the best match, at least not currently. So if that is your situation, hopefully you got something out of that. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.